you do.
Dang with the intro.
The little countdown.
You're just getting fancy over here.
I know.
I'm trying. How's everybody doing? What's up, guys?
Oh my God. My lighting is terrible tonight.
Story of my life.
He's going to come in and flick on all the lights.
Welcome, everybody.
Good evening. I keep wanting to say good afternoon.
Don't forget to put y'all's Facebook on public so that way we can see the questions. Oh.
It's not a prerequisite, actually, Bo, because Oscar and Ione are yet to be, but way to put him on the spot.
Good way to start it. Good way to start it. What up? What up?
Gotta put a ring on that.
Damn, okay. I can read between the lines, guys.
She's been underwriting her numbers on that rock you're gonna get her.
She's like, I know this can work.
That's the bad part. She's seeing all the money that you're about to make, so she knows how much you're about to be spending.
She's like, 3 months worth, I can do that. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. If it's your first time here, I'm KJ. So all of us are a team that work together. We're missing 2 of us right now, but we all have joined this multifamily journey together, and we all kind of have separate roles and ways that we accomplish our goals together. So like me and Carolyn right here, we really focus on building relationships with people, talking to brokers. All of us kind of do capital raising, and I feel like I'm forgetting something that we do. We're kind of like the face of it. We're the networking queens. We're the ones who are in charge of talking to people and stuff like that.
Making sure these boys stay in line.
Definitely.
That's an unwritten rule.
It's more like making sure we stay in line. No, I'm kidding. We all keep each other in check.
So who else wants to introduce?
I'll go. I'm Joseph Mudd. I'm KJ's husband. I underwrite and do asset management for the team. I work closely with Oscar's girlfriend on the underwriting side. She's a freaking legend, but she's not here right now. She's probably back there lurking, for all we know. But yeah, man, we are the underwriters. We look at numbers all day, look at Excel sheets and the T12s and rent rolls, and we make sure that the deal looks good from start to finish and during, and then we take over the deal afterwards and make sure that everything that we planned out to happen actually goes through and happens, so that way the deal is successful.
Amazing. I'll go. I'm Carolyn. My other half is in the other room finishing up a meeting really quick, but he will be here shortly. We just joined with this awesome team I feel like it's almost 5 months ago now. And Myron, I'll introduce him too. Myron does raising capital and deal structuring alongside Oscar. And they primarily do a lot of the property walkthroughs. But I think all of us will be partaking in that however we can and at whatever capacity we can. For me, like kind of what KJ said, I'm more of the outreach, the front of the team, the business, agents, investor relationships, raising money, finding the deals, all that type of stuff. So, and probably some social media stuff on the way too. More social media stuff.
And I'm Oscar. My girlfriend is not here at the moment, but her name's Ione. She does all the underwriting and works very closely with Joseph on that side, just like Joseph had mentioned. And I work very closely with just about everybody in the group as well. But I work with Myron as well, focusing on deal structure, syndication, raising capital. and let me see, what else am I missing? And negotiations too. Whenever it comes to talking to sellers or brokers, I'm usually on the phone with them, trying to get the deal across the finish line. But all of us work really great together as a team. That's why we're here. We're here to provide value for you guys using our experience that we've learned, everything that we're learning at the moment, still learning as we go. But if there's any questions that you guys have in regards to multifamily, we're here to help you guys out. So if you have anything, we can start it off by anybody putting any questions in the chat, and we'll address them as they come in. But other than that, that's the team here. This is us. We're all have, like KJ mentioned, we all have a role that we all do in the team, and so we're here to help. So anybody questions in the chat, let's get them answered. In the meantime, why don't we talk about some obstacles that we have to overcome the last few days?
Obstacles that's like right at the forefront of my mind is raising a lot of money now that we have a solid deal that is to be under contract. How do we, okay, now we got to come up with $2 million, right? So we got to get on our own feet, and we can totally raise $2 million. Like that's like a walk in the park. But that's at the top of my head. That's an obstacle for us. It's a challenge.
I have no doubt that we will be able to get that and probably raise more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have a reserve fund and everything, and we're going to make our investors very happy because it's a solid deal.
Yep.
It will be a Class C value add, lots of renovations to be done, and 5 of the units out of 89, but the rest of them is some light touch up, and it's a solid deal, guys. We're excited about it. It's been I think 4 months, 4.5 months, something like that in the making, all 6 of us being here together. And it's exciting. It's exciting. It is definitely a journey, and it's not over yet. And we're excited that you guys are here, kind of joining in with us.
For sure. Yeah,
So go ahead.
I said this is a whole documenting process for us too along the way.
Absolutely. Well, I do see one question from Bo Howard. Oh, there it goes. How the heck are you supposed to underwrite if you just can't get all the info you need? So I'm not exactly sure what situation this is. It definitely sounds like a direct to seller type situation. In our experience, mostly with brokers, they have no issues giving you that stuff because they want you to buy the deal from them. And if you can't underwrite the deal, then there's not going to make any money, right? Because you're not going to buy it. So with a seller, direct to seller, it's a little bit harder because most sellers aren't great with their accounting, right? And for those of you that have talked to a direct to seller multifamily, you have seen that where it is literally just one sheet of paper with some numbers scratched on it. So in those situations, you really need to get as much information as you can. If you could get at least the current rent, like a rent roll, we can figure the rest out on assumptions, right? The rest of it we could figure out on assumptions, and we can figure out ballpark if we're in the same playing field as where they want the purchase price to be. And if we are, if things start to make sense, well, then that's when we start doing due diligence and we really get into the nitty gritty. It's definitely a lot longer of a process, but it is possible. And as long as you have those rent rolls and kind of know what it is each tenant is paying each month, you could figure out enough to get a ballpark offer.
He said that all he has is rent rolls and said he currently pays all utilities, but units are separately metered. This must be like a mom and pop.
Definitely. So like I said, with the rent rolls, you can add all those up and get a GPR, gross potential rent. You'll get the total rent and then assume 50% expenses. And that will give you your assumed NOI. And that's enough for you to be able to work with early on. But since he's paying all utilities, that's some money right there. You could charge all that back to the tenants. You just found yourself some money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely hit us up offline if you have some more trouble with that. We have office hours that are posted. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's noon Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, or Monday through Thursday, noon Central Standard Time. And we have an underwriting Zoom on Fridays at
12.
at noon Central Standard.
Mm-hmm.
So pop into that or get a hold of us.
Amazing.
So I noticed a lot of the comments say Facebook user, and it's because they're coming from the multifamily group. So we don't know who they are, but I'm in the Facebook, so I can tell you who it is that commented.
Cute.
For some reason, StreamYard's weird like that. I don't know. But Joelle said evening, everybody. Marcel said role models.
Cute.
And then
Yo, Marcella and
then-
Joelle, love you guys.
how do I raise money and what are some other ways? I don't see that comment yet. Does anyone want to cover this?
Ooh.
So that's kind of the obstacle we were just talking about too.
I can cover it if not.
Who is it?
Who asked that question?
Who is it?
I'm looking. Oh, Byron Sutton.
Byron?
Now it popped up. Yeah,
Oh, it's your answer then, dude.
Wait, Myron or Byron?
Byron.
There is no other Myron.
There's a Myron Stanford.
There is a Myron Stanford. You're right. It's with a Y though.
There's some Oscar. I'm gonna say what I know, and I think Oscar is the guy to really talk about this because there's some rules and regulations on how to raise money. I would start with Byron, meeting a lot of people, networking your butt off. And I don't mean just networking on Facebook. I mean like going to events, talking about it, talking to your past coworkers, talking to your friends and family, like literally talk about it all the time. Like, for instance, the kids played with the neighbors today. And I started talking about what we're doing. He's like, oh, okay. Oh, that's a good business. That's a good business. We're, multifamily, that's what a lot of people are doing. And what I wanted to do, I'm planting little seeds wherever I go, right? Planting seeds and see what happens. He might be knocking on our door and saying, hey, I talked to somebody else and they're talking to me about how they were investing in multifamily. I mean, our other neighbor came to our garage sale and he's like, y'all do multifamily? That's what me and my brothers want to do. What do you, I want to start, blah, blah, blah. I got his phone number and just start talking about it. But you need to know these people. You don't just post on Facebook and say, hey, I'm trying to get 4 million. Don't do that. I probably shouldn't even said that, but you have to raise money the correct way and start talking to people, and I think you'll be surprised on who is in your circle that has money.
Exactly. And I want to add a little bit to that as well, because he said, go to events. And that doesn't just mean real estate events. That doesn't mean all in your comfort circle, because I learned something from our friend Marlon. He will go to events that are completely out of his own business sector of real estate, like a medical convention or a doctor, like something where there is money, right? You go to a conference and you sit at this table with all these other different people who are there for that reason. And they're going to be like, why are you here? Right? And you get to advocate for your business. You get to amplify your business and plant those seeds. and you know that they're going to have money and they're going to be like, oh, I have a busy schedule. I want to invest my money passively. What does that look like? And there you go. So don't just think within the real estate pool, think bigger and outside of that when you're networking.
Another good one is cigar shops.
Okay, yeah. Love it. Love it. There's literally money everywhere. You just have to have something to put the money in. Okay. I'm sure Oscar has some.
This one's by Ronald.
Yeah.
Ronald Britton.
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go?
Do you want to touch on that last one before we move on, though?
Yeah, I mean, I think Carolyn and Myron covered just about everything. It's just getting yourself out there in reality. That's it. Just go out there and start talking to people and let them know what you're doing. You know, another thing you can do is let them know, like, I help people invest in real estate, or I help them get started into real estate, and start that way. You know, you can just say that. Like, if someone asks you, what do you do? It's like, oh, I help people get into real estate. You know, and it gives them like a little bit of curiosity, like, oh, what is it that you do? And start the conversation there, right? It's like, here, I help people do this, I do this, or whatever. It's exactly what Carolyn and Myron said. It just go out there and network with people and get yourself out there and put yourself out there. Because remember, guys, it's not who you know, it's who knows you. Can't stress that enough.
Boom.
It's who knows you. They know you, they like you, they trust you, they will go and partner up with you on deals. So make sure you get yourself out there.
And literally, like, obviously, it's what we're doing right now. Just us being on these lives twice a week has amplified our business so much and drawn attention to us. And that's like icing on the cake, right? Like, we do this for fun and we want to provide value to you guys, but like, having investors and people who want to invest in our opportunities that are coming our way, that's amazing. So put yourself out there on social media. Be known for who you are, your name. Your name is your biggest asset.
I'm going to say it better myself.
Love it.
No, that was good.
KJ, I'm going to let you control clicking the comments.
Okay, we'll go to the next one. By underwriting, do you mean deep diving on the numbers and cash flow of the multifamily deal, or is it underwriting for the loan and capital raising?
That's a good question.
So I would say that is a very solid question, actually. So underwriting entails all of it, right? You're looking at like you said, the deep diving on the numbers and cash flow. That's upfront, right? You're figuring that out. But you also need to incorporate, I know I need to go get a loan on this. You go talk with the lender, which is another thing that I do. You go talk with the lender and figure out, okay, I have this deal. We've structured our numbers here. Do our numbers make sense with what you would provide for us as a loan? And I'm going off of assumptions based on, what conversations I've had with them, what I believe that, general range of where we would be at with numbers. And then I confirm with them, right? And you also, the capital raising, I would say more is on the deal structuring side. Once we've already looked at the deal, once we've confirmed the numbers look good, we want to pursue this deal. In the underwriting, we figure out how much are we going to have to raise, but then the actual capital raising is done after it's already been underwritten, right? So it kind of flows like this, right? The deal will come in, it gets underwritten. Once it looks good, it's a solid deal, all the numbers check out, everything, all the check boxes are done. Then, okay, now it gets sent to, we're getting the contract signed. And at the same time we're getting that contract signed, we're raising the money. We're already working on it. We're getting that money taken care of. And then once the money is sourced, we have the money, then it comes back to the underwriting so we can make sure it gets done. Then it's called asset management. Now we're just making sure that everything that we planned and set as in motion, that actually gets taken care of and followed through. So underwriting is all of it, right? It's the whole potato.
The whole potato.
What was that?
I was going to say the same thing. You said the whole potato?
Whole potato. Eating potatoes.
I love it. I want a baked potato now, dude.
I know, that sounds good.
Hey, I know. We got a free appetizer at Roadhouse, babe.
Date night, I guess.
Yeah.
We just got barbecue.
Oh man, y'all are making me hungry.
I ordered barbecue while I was on Zoom with y'all.
Man, okay. On to the next one. How are the fix and flips in multifamily valued? Is it similar to single family?
And Joelle said that.
Good job.
So I would say it is similar, right? Because obviously you want to get it at a discounted rate and then turn around and sell it later on down the road for more, right? For more than you put into it. That's the ultimate goal. So that part stays the same. But the way that single family is comped versus how a multifamily unit is comped is totally different, right? So units 1 through 4, which is single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, that's all comped by looking at comparable properties in the area and what they sold for and how they looked, right? That's how those are comped. Then anything 5 plus is considered commercial real estate or commercial multifamily real estate. And those are comped based on the numbers that it produces. So it's comped as a business rather than a property, if that makes sense. I hope that I explained that well.
That was good.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm going on to the next one. Micah, what's up, bro? When talking to lenders, what information do you need to provide when trying to get pre-approved? Let's go, lender guy.
Oh man, I'm in a lot today.
I
Okay,
know.
so the type of information that you're gonna need. So as a newer investor with no units, right? It's gonna be much harder. So you're gonna definitely need to be liquid to do that. Or what you can do is partner up with somebody that already has a portfolio backing them. So essentially what they need is whoever is going to be signing on the loan, that whether it's one person or multiple people, the total net worth of those group of people or that person has to be equivalent or more to the loan that you're trying to get. Right? And they're only going to give you anywhere from 60 to 75% of the value of the loan to value. So you're not going to get all of it. You're going to have to raise a portion of it either way, no matter what. But that's what you're going to need up front, as well as they're going to ask about your past history with multifamily, especially your portfolios and your experience managing them. They're going to want to know who's going to be in charge of all that stuff. They're going to want to know you have your ducks in a row before they give you a loan. They're also going to want to see that the property you've already underwritten has room on the table for it to cover the debt that they're going to give you and then some. So they're going to want to see at least a DSCR of 120 or higher. And that's like the minimum I've seen. And for those of you that don't know, DSCR is debt service coverage ratio. So all that's saying is that your income, your monthly income, is enough to cover a whole amount, so the one, of the debt service, and then an additional 0.2, which is the 120, 0.2 of that same amount. So for example, if your debt service is 10,000 and you need a minimum of 120, then you have to be making monthly income from that property at least 12,000, which is 1.2 times the debt service.
Whew.
Some
Man,
Love
Math
it.
right there.
good thing we're recording this. 'Cause I'm gonna go back and watch that myself.
I
Good job,
know.
bro.
I'm like, what did you just say? That's why KJ and I are on the phones with people.
Yeah.
I think this is just. I think it's gonna become a Joseph freaking live only.
That's already the Friday one.
Show.
Writing.
I stay in my lane.
No, let's get some more people involved.
I love how Bo said, I wish I could get involved in that. You can. Let me show you.
100%.
Love it though.
100%.
Darren said, hey guys, I have a few leads I pulled from PropStream, expired multifamily listing in a nice part of town. Do you guys text, email, or call for your first contact with owners?
Ooh, that's a Myron question.
Yeah, I was about
That
to
is a good
say.
question. I did the same thing, Darren, and I did everything except for email because I feel like I don't know about your email, but my email is crazy. And so we do both. We text and call.
In what
And
order? Is there an order?
I mean, if I was going to do texting, I would text. And if they didn't answer my text, I try to call. But he means initial reach out. So initially, I have somebody, there's a campaign running right now for texting. There's a campaign running for just cold call. So you can do both. You can also go to the complex and just go in and start talking. Sometimes, if they're small enough, the owner is actually running it. Yeah. So you have to get lucky to be lucky to find that one out. But Darren,
you have to bring a 6-pack of beer with you if you do so.
Be creative.
Yeah.
He's worn out.
But yeah, love it, man. Love you going on Prop Stream, trying to pull lists. I'd like to talk to you more offline about anybody's doing lists. I'd like to talk to you more about how you're doing it.
Myron's the guy.
Cool.
He is the guy.
So this person said, I don't know who it was on the chat. Oh, Marcel. Cigar bars. He sat next to DJ Khaled in a cigar bar before. Talk about the potential reach. That's awesome. That's a good one. That's funny.
Jokes.
Put some guys in the chat for that one.
I make myself laugh, y'all. Usually in the room by myself. I'll just make myself laugh.
But for real, you go to places that cost money and you need a certain net worth to go there or do something. You're going to meet other people that had to pay money to go there and they were serious about getting involved. Or it's the same concept of when you get free value or you get a free lesson or something for free, you don't appreciate it or take it as strong-hearted as you should, right? When you pay for it, you're automatically more invested. And Oscar was saying this the other day. He went on a walkthrough with our mentor, and I would like you to phrase it. I need some Oscar flavor on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is like because we invested in ourselves to be part of a lot of mentorships. When I went to do the walkthrough, I brought my notebook with me, right? And I was taking the entire thing. I was taking so much advantage of it. I was jotting down everything that I can think of, anything that I heard, and I would just write it down or take a video the entire time because I wanted to make sure that I recorded everything, every little single thing that I can take away and bring back to our team and also bring back for us to get better so I can share with some of the team, right? And so for me, like it's just like what Joseph said. You pay for something, it's you value it more. Like if you have a new car, you just paid for it. You're going to take care of that car because you're paying for it, right? And if someone spills a drink in your car, you're probably going to get pretty upset because you're paying for that car. But they probably won't feel that because it's not theirs, right? They're going to be taking it for granted. It's the exact same thing. A lot of the things that we do, we pay to invest in ourselves, so we're going to get the most we can out of it. We're going to get every little penny for it. So yeah, I agree, Joseph, 100%.
That's so funny.
Derek's comment. I just saw it pop up. Sorry. If I was interested in raising private capital, do I need any special licenses?
So Rob, I'll touch up on this a little bit. I won't get too much into detail, but the short answer is no. You don't need any special kind of license. However, if you're doing some sort of syndication, make sure you know the laws on how to do it because you do have to go and file with a certain agency that I will not name, but you do have to go file with a certain agency to get that capital to start raising it. So you don't need a special license for it, but you need to make sure you have the know-how or someone who knows how to do it for you. Typically, it's an attorney. So you definitely want to get that taken care of before you start doing anything. And there's a few things in there that are kind of gray and in between, which is, you'll get into it when that happens. Maybe we'll do a Zoom for it, but just make sure that you know exactly what it is that you can and cannot say, but you don't need a license.
Just be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Should I start with how to underwrite first before reaching out, or is there a proper order? And I think this was a play off of
Reaching out to
Like the seller or the broker?
Or-
let me check the comments. I wish it would show who on our end, because I'm pretty sure it was along with a post that was previously made that we already covered. I have to keep restarting. I guess we'll come back to it.
Okay.
Well, I would touch on this. I would say not necessarily. If you can go, I assume that you're either trying to reach out to, oh, you know what, maybe lenders.
It's
So
Byron
lenders,
it's Byron who commented it from our
I was
question
reaching
earlier.
like Myron's question. So I would say not necessarily. You don't necessarily. It would be absolutely beneficial to, but no, you could definitely just reach out and ask. It's the same as single family, right? Or anything you do. As problems arise, figure out how to solve those problems, and it just gives you your next marching orders, your next action steps. Whenever you just go out there and keep messing up until you run into something that you don't know how, and then find out, ask a question. I mean, we're always open to help. So I mean, just go out there, cause problems, come back to us with more questions. You can answer them right here on the live, or we can do it in the office hour.
But Byron, I'll give you the secret sauce right now. And we say this every single time that we hop on. Single family is different from multifamily. Multifamily is a team sport. It's 100% a team sport. So if there's something that you may not know how to do, or your strengths lie in underwriting, but you probably don't want to do or aren't that good at reaching out to people on the phone, then find someone you can partner up with, or go and create your own team, because you're going to need those people back behind you. It's going to be tough to do it on your own. So I would say the secret sauce to getting this, there's no proper order like they're saying, but if you have someone who can help you do this, you'll get there quicker. So remember that multifamily is a team sport.
Definitely.
What up, Tech?
Good evening, Tech. We love you.
How does closing and negotiation work with brokers and sellers in multifamily compared to regular single family? Is it more savvy sellers? It's a good question.
Absolutely more savvy sellers. Why? Why though?
I would say, I mean, okay, hold on. Not all of them. Not every single one of them, but for the most part, they're super savvy. They understand business, because this is a commercial property. They're running a business. And so they understand how to, for the most part, okay, they understand how to raise rents and what that means, what that does to their business, what that does to the valuation. They're going to understand what I think is so cool, creative finance a little better. We're talking to a lot of people about seller finance, multifamily, and it's a commonplace. So to me, it's a better conversation because they understand what they have. There could be pain, and they understand how the business is valued. It's not the same as single family. It's done off of the income that you're bringing in. And I feel like I'm kind of like rambling, but yes, brokers and sellers are, to me, a little bit easier to talk to. They're savvy. You can talk to them straight up, straight business.
And they're going to be disqualifying you versus you. I mean, yes, we do our fair share of disqualifying, but these brokers are going to vet you. I just had like a 15-minute phone call on my way to my daughter's school today of a broker calling me back and like running through her due diligence questions with me to make sure I'm not just wholesale. She asked me, she's like, are you going to wholesale these or are you buying them? Like, okay, thanks for being transparent and upfront. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I totally get it. We're acquiring, we're buying for ourselves, you know? So it is a much more upfront, transparent conversation where it's not so much like you're pulling teeth with a single family seller who got their valuation for their home off of a Zestimate, you know? Like,
True.
this is not Zestimate world.
There's no such thing as a Zestimate for a multifamily.
There are facts.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Good answer, guys.
Yeah, solid answer.
Have you guys already been on the LP or GP on a deal? If so, how's your experience in it so far?
This is Carlos Rodriguez.
Okay, I can touch up on this one. So have we been on the LP or GP on a deal yet? No, we have not. The current deal that we're working on right now is a 30-unit deal in Corpus Christi. And the way we structured that one, Carlos, is we did it by JV agreement on that one. So that one's strictly JV. The deal that we're currently working on that has a lot of potential will possibly, I'm going to claim it. We're going to be under contract on this one. That one for sure we will structure as a LP and GP type of deal. It'd probably be a syndication. So the short answer is no, because we structured the 30 units differently, and the other answer is it's soon to come, very soon.
Awesome.
Woohoo.
Thanks. How do I present a multifamily deal to y'all? I have reps sending me deals all the time. Where do I submit them, and what do you need besides the T12 financials and rent rolls? Usually a rep, broker, and then I see on here it says Zoom seller. I guess it didn't show up on here. But I actually, in the multifamily $1 million upside group today, I made a post and I pinned it, and I put every single resource you guys could think of right there, so that way it's easy to access. I put a link where you could submit the deal. I put the link to a Dropbox or not a Dropbox, it's a Google Drive where we post all the videos not these videos. These go on YouTube. Sorry about that. The underwriting Zooms that we do on Zoom, not live. We do them on Zoom. We record those and put them into a Google Drive. I also put our YouTube channels on there. I put the office hours that you guys can come in and ask questions when you need to. And there's a link to the Zoom to hop in for office hours. And then I think I covered. I put when our lives are, our underwriting Zoom, our office hours, where to submit your deals, and then our YouTube links where you can subscribe if you guys like us. And you could turn notifications on so you don't miss our lives. And that way, anytime you guys need that information, it should be right there, easy to access in the group. As for what you need, T12, definitely financials and rent rolls, that's pretty much all that you need. But when you're saying usually a rep, broker, then seller, typically we don't, if we're going to do a deal with someone, we want to make sure that you're as close to the broker or seller as possible. And something that we typically look out for is a 3% buyer's fee. So I'm getting out of breath, guys. Sorry.
Okay, girl, you good.
If it has a 3% buyer's fee, typically we won't look at it unless they're willing to negotiate that way lower. So that's just something that we filter out. And I think the best way to find deals would be to call brokers directly and be direct to source, because a lot of times when you're several links down the chain, it's hard to get financials, it's hard to get accurate information, it's hard to get the deal done. And just a little advice, a way to find out if people are actually direct to seller, because everybody says they are, which they are not always, is to say, hey, let's hop on a call. Let me talk to the seller or the broker. And we did that a couple times and immediately showed people's cards when they were like, oh, I need to get my friend on the phone. Who needs to get their friend on the phone? So we're definitely not opposed to looking at deals, but we typically are not going to pay a 3% buyer's fee that come from wholesalers.
Yes. So to add to that, please make sure you're not just blowing up our Podio link with leads that some wholesaler sent to you or you got sent through to your email. Just make sure you are the person that actually has the deal. Because if we're
Yes.
constantly just getting blown up and filter fed all this, trash, then most likely we're just not going to look anytime we see your name. So
We want to do quality deals with quality people. That's what we mean, right? Like, you know what it feels like to be daisy chained deal, and you know what that feels like in monetary and everything else. And then we feel the same way. Like, we want to make sure it's a quality deal so everybody can have a piece of the pie. That's why.
Whoa, Tech here says that he buys those 4% deals. Is that what he's saying? Yeah, just send them. Oh, no, Tech.
Oh,
Tech
that's
says send them
awesome.
to him.
he said he's shaking his head.
Oh, I thought you
that's
were
what
saying
that
he was
meant.
buying.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
shaking my head.
Send
I was like,
them
wait,
pots.
we need to be talking to Tech.
yeah.
Yeah, these wholesalers
Oh,
are
no,
4%
yeah,
deals and 1% on top. They're just
usually-
adding their 1% for sending it in an email.
Yeah,
Usually
it
when
is
you see that 3% on there, it is
It's a red
usually a
flag.
red flag that is not a deal. It's usually something that they got sent and they're just passing it along, adding a fee on top, or it usually just doesn't make sense. And you're better off, spending your time. Time is valuable, right? I mean, our time is valuable. I'm sure you guys value your time as well. So do it making strong money-making decisions, not just trying to do the get rich quick. Usually,
But also, Joseph does amazing underwriting Zooms every Friday. So that way we can equip you guys with the tools you need to quickly glance at your deal to see if it's a deal. We want to be able to provide value to you guys. And that's also why we created this Facebook group, because like we said earlier, this is a team. What is it? That's what I was looking for. I was thinking game, team sport. So like you can't do this alone. So we wanted to build a community of people doing the same thing, have the same mindset, and want to grow together, because we found each other by having that same interest. I was like, Oscar, I want to do multifamily. I don't know what I'm doing. What do? I don't know what to say. I was like, I don't even know what a cap rate is. And so like this was a few months ago.
Why?
Yeah, this was literally like we all started like 4 months ago together. Like literally I knew absolutely nothing about multifamily, and now here we are. So it's possible. All you have to do is take action and get 1% better every day and learn something. Find something you're good at. Like me and Carolyn love talking to people. We build those connections and talk to brokers and source the deals directly from the sellers or the brokers. Like Joseph and Ione, they do the underwriting. I don't even want to look at a spreadsheet. I don't want to do anything with that. And that's okay. Like, I don't like to do that. They can look at that all day. They enjoy that stuff. So finding people that you can vibe with, that you like to work with, and finding different superpowers and say, let's team up. Let's conquer this together, because when you get a multifamily deal that comes in, it is a lot of work. Like, I think we have 25 in our Podio right now. And like, it takes a whole team to like, someone needs to underwrite it. Someone needs to follow up. Someone needs to send an LOI. Like, we've got this whole long process of each deal. So, you definitely need a team. And I'm hoping that like us doing this can give you the tools and knowledge you need to maybe get to that next step and learn from the mistakes we make. And also I'm hoping the group, like we can be interactive and help each other and make friends, because like that's what we're here to do. And we want to be friends with you guys and do deals with y'all as well. Whew, I'm out of breath. I made it.
Yeah, let me catch up on that, because whenever the spreadsheets come out in our team meeting, KJ is the first one gone.
Turn your camera off right away.
I was like, I remember I randomly started laughing and y'all were like, what are you laughing at? And I was like totally sidetracked looking at something else. I was like, oh, sorry guys, like not for me, but that's okay. Like, but I do know the gist of it, like the napkin underwriting. I understand the surface of it a little bit.
Yeah.
But Joseph,
she understands it. The other thing is, it's funny though, because when that spreadsheet comes out, Joseph, Myron, and Ione are like hooked to the screen, right? And they can't look away.
Yeah, mine's like, zoned in. Like,
It's really
can you
small
do this on
numbers.
seller finance?
That is always the first
That's like his
question.
literal first question. Can we do this on seller finance?
We need to get him a shirt that says that.
Yeah,
I will wear it every
And
day.
it's gonna point to
Totally
me. He
do.
said he got this on seller finance.
That's funny.
Dang,
That's
it
a
just
good
got
one.
better.
He probably
But
did. He
Oh
probably
my
got this
gosh.
on seller finance.
I
Actually,
didn't know y'all got invited to the comedy show.
that's funny.
love it. Hey, we gotta bring some comedy.
But yeah, so I think maybe we can reschedule because Joseph and I are leaving town Friday, and I know a lot of people were looking forward to the underwriting Zoom. We can figure something out. But normally every single Friday, 12 p.m. Central, we do a Zoom, which the link is in the Facebook group. And Joseph, you can bring your deals, you can bring whatever questions you have, and Joseph breaks down what we've learned from our mentor about napkin underwriting. So it will give you a basis of like, all I need is like these few numbers, and it'll tell me how far off my offer needs to be from their asking price. So it can give you an idea if, their offer is, or their asking price is like way up here and you need to be down here. It's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't waste my time deep underwriting, because deep underwriting takes a really long time. So if you're able to weed through deals to know whether or not they're deals or not, saves you a lot of time. So we've learned to do that, and we've been teaching others what we've learned as well. That way, like, you can confidently say, oh, here's an idea, a ballpark idea of where I need to be at, and then you can come back confidently to the broker or the seller and negotiate with them. Because I mean, I could go on a tangent with the whole, underwriting stuff, but let's answer some questions.
I love it.
I'm funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go to the next question. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. How long do you wait between your first contact to follow-up contact?
I feel like that's a me and Carolyn question.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He was talking about doing campaigns, wasn't he?
Oh, my bad. He was.
I'll stay in my
How does
lane.
it go?
I mean, it could be either or. We could
both.
Yeah, we could talk about both.
Talk
Go
about
ahead,
both.
Myron.
Really quick on your campaigns, however you want to make them is what you do. So you could follow up the next hour, you could follow up the next day. I typically follow up with a phone call as quick as I can if they're interested.
What if they're not replying?
Then I continue to message them for like a year. I never leave them alone. Answer me. Until they say yes, no, or a bad word, I just keep talking to them. Darren, I think that was your question, but if it wasn't, and you're talking about maybe talking to a broker and you want to follow up with the broker, that is definitely KJ and Carolyn that can answer that question.
Okay, so I think it depends on the person and the vibe with the person and whether or not they say they have anything. Like if this person, like there's some brokers I talk to that, oh, like, they come across deals here and there. They'll let you know if they hear from somebody. Then like, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll touch on them like every 2 weeks, follow up with them. Have you got anything? But like one of the brokers we talked to in Houston, like he calls me often. I text him. We got on a Zoom. We're flying out to go see him next week. So, but this person's hustling for us. They sent us like 8 deals, about to send us more deals. So I think it just depends on the broker and your relationship with them and like their performance with you and their expectations. But I'll let you touch on it too, Carolyn, what your thoughts are.
I'm going to touch on that, but I just want to like put an example out there because she literally made this connection with a broker, this particular broker, like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think so.
And now they're calling each other, they're texting each other, they're sending each other birthday presents.
Saying goodnight.
They're saying goodnight. Like they're flying out to Houston. He's sending us like 8+ deals. Like literally, guys, it's all it takes is one phone call with the right person and look at the trajectory that set in motion. Like
Great point.
2 weeks. That's it, from one dude. And we were just talking about this, KJ and I and another sub 2 student, before we came on this tonight. He likes talking direct to agent and direct to broker. Why? Because the rate of return. Like, you get deals sent over and over and over. Typically with a seller, it's one and done, unless they have a whole portfolio, and that's a whole nother thing. But you talk to a broker, you establish a relationship with a broker, they're just going to keep sending you stuff. And this is exactly what's happening. So for me, yeah, it's probably, if I establish a good relationship, like I have a select few that I've been touching on. I'd say it's, I have my initial conversation, follow up with an email or a text. It's not kind of like at their preference. If they ask you to send them something a certain way, just go ahead and like, okay, I'll text you or buy box, whatever. Then give it like maybe 48 hours. Hey, what's going on? I haven't heard from you yet. Whatever. And just kind of like keep touching on them every couple, 3 days. And I agree with KJ on the ones that are kind of not so thrilled and not as high a priority. Maybe every couple weeks, you know, just kind of keeping that seed planted in their head. Just, hey, if you ever come across anything, if you know anyone in your circle or your network that works in multifamily, you know, just keep me in your mind.
See, that's so key what you just said, Carolyn, and I want people to pick that up, because basically what you're saying is a quality conversation and the relationship with a broker is key. That's so key. Carolyn, KJ, how many brokers have you guys called collectively?
Over 500.
Definitely.
That's a small number. That's just like, yeah.
not including follow-ups.
Right.
Right.
That's over 500 guys. Put some fires in the chat, guys. That's
For
over
real.
500 brokers that they've called between them two. That's amazing. Now, what I'm trying to get people to understand is, yes, they've called 500 brokers. Out of all those 500 brokers, how many do you think are quality and they're still around right now?
I was gonna say that too. Probably
Maybe 10.
About 10, right? So it's so key, guys. I want the audience to understand this. You can call as many brokers as you want, and you might be able to get a few deals here and there, but it is essential. It is key for you guys to build those relationships with those brokers, because it's exactly what Carolyn said. Long-lasting relationships, they'll keep on bringing you more deals. So really all you need is a handful, literally a handful of brokers behind you that'll keep feeding you deals and deals and deals and deals. KJ, how many did that broker, how many deals did he bring you? How many did you say?
I think 8, and I know he said he's got more lined up. And then today I had a broker said he's got 4 in San Antonio he's gonna send us, not including all of the ones in Podio we're still working on. And this is just from relationships with brokers. And
Just those relationships.
yeah,
I had a conversation last week with just one conversation. He sent me a deal right away. That's the one in Austin. And then today he's like, hey, I have 3 more deals. And then I have another off-market, 2 more off-market properties. And one's a 600 unit that he's going to be sending us. So it's just like,
sheesh.
Thank you.
Fires in the chat. Oh shit.
Fires in the chat, guys. And those of you who are, for those of you who are more of the integrator type, if you want to run some rough KPIs, 500 broker calls to get about 10 quality brokers. So that means that these freaking rock stars, KJ and Carolyn, have been putting in the work, right? They've been putting in the work, calling at least 30 brokers a day. And so it takes work, guys. It's not easy. It's not going to come like tomorrow. You know, they're grinding, they're calling, they're on the phones, and they knock them out quick. I've seen them on the phones. Like, I can't keep up anymore because these girls are so good at it now. They don't need me. They can do this on their own. But it's what I'm saying is you still have to put in the work, guys. You really do. It's not going to come magically or you're going to get lucky. No, they're still calling brokers even till today. They're still calling new brokers. They didn't stop at 500. They're going to hit 1,000 soon at the rate they're going.
Yeah.
I think this is also a good point too, is that we are not talking to wholesalers. We're not getting our deals from wholesalers. I mean, we have a few here and there where we're helping people, but like majority of our deals are being sourced from brokers. So you're getting deals sent to you directly from the seller. I need to talk to the seller. Let's negotiate. I'm getting financials right from the source. They know the whole background of the property. They know about the town. They know the cap rate. Like there is no jumping through hurdles, dealing with buyer's fees and all of that. So to me, it was worth us to go, let's go call brokers. Let's go build relationships because I'd rather build a relationship with a broker who I know is going to be the main source to all the deals versus, hey, wholesaler, I don't know your experience. I don't know where you got your deal. Like, I don't know what is going on. And I don't know if you know what's going on. Like, I'd rather have somebody that I know I can depend on. And it makes you wonder, okay, what's more worth my time? Chasing this wholesaler who I don't know where they're getting their stuff from and then having to argue or wait on them to give me information, or let me go to the source, let me build a relationship and let me get deals from them and like make some moves. So nothing against wholesalers. I mean, there are good ones out there, but a lot of them get sent something and then it gets passed down so many times that it makes it just harder to do the deal and a lot more work in my eyes.
Yep. Agreed.
And you don't have to pay the broker's fee. The seller pays that.
Yeah, exactly. Save some money. Guys, we've got a ton of questions. Let's see how fast we can go through them. Okay.
Here's the next one. So, well, we just answered that. Perfect. We are mostly doing brokers, calling brokers. That's the primary source. We have people that have been following our story and know that we're in multifamily that bring us deals that they're working on or that they have. So I guess that's kind of like the Lanza method there. And we have a select few people, I think it's maybe 2, that are doing direct to seller for us.
When bringing potential deals to you guys, minimal information needed.
Like,
Right.
what is the bare minimum we need? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I would assume that too.
Why is Derek trying to do the bare minimum?
To answer the question,
He's over there eating melted cheese on chips over there.
That sounds good.
All right, man, we're getting queso.
It's called queso.
The minimal that we need is T12s, rent rolls, and OM if they have it. But bare minimum, we need those first 2, T12s, rent rolls. OM is great and it looks good, but to get started, we need those first 2, T12 and rent roll.
Cool. When going into a property that is going to need renovations, how do you guys price how much you're going to put into each door? That's a wonderful question. I feel like it kind of ties into what we were discussing this morning and kind of what we've been searching for. And anybody want to touch on that?
I can touch on it. So that is probably our weakest point. None of us were fix and flippers. That's not something that we did. We understand, how it works and everything about it, but to physically know or to specifically know the amount needed for a certain repair, that's probably our weakest point. So what we've done is partnered up with some people, multiple different people. We have different options of people that have experience in that field. And we found a really solid one of Oscar's doing this weekend that's giving us a fantastic offer. So early on, we're going to be partnering up with another GP. We're bringing on an additional GP, which is a general partner, to run the deal. And we're going to basically just absorb everything that they're doing and ask as many questions as we can.
Yeah.
Another way you can do it, go have a contractor, go walk out there and look at it, tell you what they think it's going to need.
One other thing you can gauge, Micah, is when you're asking the broker or the property manager if you're walking it, like the property, ask them how much they're budgeting for any renovated units that they've already done. If they're telling you we're budgeting anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 per unit, then write that down because and look at the quality of work that they're doing. So you have an idea of how much they're budgeting per unit, how much you can budget per unit in order to get the result that you need. So make sure when you do the walkthrough or when you're talking to them, ask them, did you have any renovated units? Okay, cool. How many of those are renovated? Okay, how much of that CapEx did you budget per unit? That'll give you an idea of where you need to be per unit so you can budget for your renovation, your CapEx.
Great answer.
If multifamily doesn't fit your buy box and has a motivated seller that needs to sell but low occupancy rate, will it be able to be disposed?
I would say, yeah. I mean, if the price is right, anything could be sold, right? For us, I believe the reason he's asking is that because he knows that we want stabilized properties. We don't want something that is not occupied, right? We don't want new construction. We don't want a property that's has nobody in it, or we're typically looking for at least 80% occupied, and the rest will fill in. But we want something that's already been a stabilized unit. We just have to come in and make some repairs and fill in the rest. So yes, the answer is yes. There are people that buy things like that. It's less attractive though when it's not stabilized.
But maybe there's somebody in the group that does. It'd be good to post in there and see if you have anybody in there. How are your business set up? Holding company and LLCs underneath, or just LLC?
We actually talked about that today.
Yeah. So in multifamily. No, sorry, man. You're good. You're good. So
no, you're good. You're good.
I'll give an example of what someone told me in a multifamily deal. But for us specifically, we don't have anything structured just yet. But what I've heard of one person structure their deal is when they're doing a syndication, the way they structured it is they have an LLC for the particular property itself. They have an LLC for all the LPs, and then they have an LLC for all the money and how it gets wired and sent and all that kind of stuff. And then they have an LLC at the very top that controls everything underneath it. And all that is structured through an attorney that you would go through to structure the syndication. So you would have to get with an attorney to structure it, make sure it's structured correctly in order for all the liability and everything that you have to do gets taken care of correctly. As far as our own individual LLCs, I think everyone here has it structured a little bit differently. We don't have anything together at the moment, but that's definitely one example we've heard in multifamily and how it's done. If anybody has anything to add, please add on.
I think you covered it.
Yeah, perfect.
Myron, are you interested in 6 units in Gulfport?
Highlight my comment 2 down, because I'll read my comment.
Oh.
What's the change? Probably not, because we have minimums. I start at 40 units. Between 20 and 40, we'll look at it if it's seller finance.
Nice. Already have
seller finance.
I get in my hat that says seller finance.
The whole outfit. One sock says seller, the other sock says finance.
Oh, bro.
Rob said, thanks.
Christmas, birthday.
Rob said, thanks for the inspiration, y'all. I aspire to get where you're at. I have to go put the kiddos down to bed and hop on another Zoom. Good night.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah,
Rob.
the newbie Zoom. Good luck.
Thanks, Rob.
Let's see what else we got. Micah says, shadow work, you reap what you sow. The best is yet to come to every single one of y'all. Thank you, Micah. Leanna said, love this, so much value. Thank you. Aside from looking at, oh, I think this
That was
is
Leanna. Oh, I met her a couple weeks ago at the meetup.
Oh, cool.
Do you filter with other napkin underwriting parameters such as cap rate, cash on cash? What do you guys think?
On a napkin underwriting level, we don't really take a look at cap rate. We do take a look at cap rate. We don't really take a look at cash on cash or IRR. That's more in the deep underwriting section that we take a look at that. And we do keep that in consideration when it comes to deep diving underwrite. But for napkin underwriting, we don't take a look at cash on cash or IRR.
That's not to say that's not important, though. It's definitely important. But napkin underwriting is just figuring out, is this a deal I want to spend more time on? That's it.
I found a 500 unit building, 15K in taxes, Class C. What's this T12 thing? And how does it apply to the info I pulled from a vacant building online, real numbers? I haven't reached out because I'm not yet comfortable with the underwriting stuff. Oh, that's okay. Good for you for taking action in the first place. Does anyone want to answer?
Nope.
So, yeah, I can answer for
We
you.
will answer, of course.
So from this, it looks like the building is vacant. So I would just, you're going to come into the issue of, right, it's not fully occupied building. Someone out there may buy it, but us specifically, it's not what we're looking for. And the general consensus is people want a stabilized asset. So it is absolutely possible to make something happen with it. What you would want to do is reach out to them, ask questions. That's all you're doing. You just want to ask questions. Give them a call. Say, hey, how's it going? I saw this building and I just wanted to see if you guys were the owner, see if y'all were possibly interested in selling it, right? If you've ever done single family, you're pretty much doing the same thing. You're trying to extract as much information as you can. And then with that information, then you decide what's the next step. What do I do with this? So that I would just reach out to them and let them know, hey, I'm looking. Are you interested in selling this? I saw it, right? Whether you drove by it or saw it online, doesn't necessarily matter. Just find out if they want to sell it, because if they're not even interested in selling it, no point even talking about it.
Yeah, and can you touch up on what he means by on his question? It says, "What's this T12 thing?"
Yeah, for sure. T12 is the trailing 12 months of income and expenses. So all it is the simple way is a P&L statement or income and expense statement. All it is Excel or a piece of paper or however they put it. It just shows the total income and the total expenses for the property. And a good one, which is what you want, is a broken out per month, not all bundled up in 1 year, because it's not as accurate and it doesn't tell you the whole story. You want to see one that's broken out month by month by month by month. And you want at a minimum of 12. A lot of times they'll try and give you a T3 or T6. You want at least 12. More than 12 is great, but you definitely want at least 12.
Thank you for that, bro. Let's go to the next one.
Michelle said, hey, you guys. Hi, Michelle.
What's up?
Let's see.
Yeah, lots of fires in the chat.
I see that. Hello, people. Thank you. Thank you. How do you find multifamily brokers and agents? Very great question.
We find them on LoopNet, loopnet.com. And you go to find a broker and you type in the city that you want to focus on, your market. And then you make sure you select multifamily on the filter, and that's as simple as it is. And it's going to pull up a huge list of everyone that works in multifamily, supposedly, who works in multifamily in that market. And they'll have their numbers listed, and you just call them, and a lot of them will say, no, I have nothing to do with multifamily. Why are you calling me? I'm like, well, you're in the multifamily list on LoopNet, so yeah. What else?
You could call listings, people who already have listings for apartments, and see, how many deals they're doing, see if they've got anything off market. That's a good way to make connections with people already doing multifamily.
Yep.
Let's see. Would you guys post broker calls, wondering how do they go and what do you ask for? So yeah, that's on our to-do list. We've already posted a few. If you go through our YouTube channel, there's some that we've already done before, but we will be planning one to go live again soon, so you guys can listen to us.
So we lock that in for once a week?
I know we need to. How do those initial conversations with brokers go, especially if you're a noob? Love it. I guess really, I remember when I first talked to Oscar and I wanted to learn broker calls. I listened to him for a whole day before I took action because I was scared. And then I realized, KJ, you just need to do it. Like, sitting here watching is not going to pay the bills, or I'm not going to learn by just watching. I need to mess up and say things that I shouldn't and learn the hard way. So I started making calls, And really, you just need to know the bare minimum, okay? Like, what are you looking for? That's going to be their first question. What is your buy box? So I think the best thing you should do is find somebody who's buying and use their buy box, right? You want to leverage someone ahead of you that can perform, because what happens when you do get a deal? Well, who's going to buy it, right? Like, you need to already have somebody in mind that is going to buy this deal. So that means whatever that buyer wants is what you should be asking for. So Piper, stop. Sorry. So you want to first off know what you're buying, or like know what you want to buy, and tell them like ours is 40 units minimum. We have no cap on price or number of units, and that usually like what? Like no cap on price? And that's a good way to kind of build credibility and pique their attention. And it's like, okay, well, what class are you looking for? So you need to know what class you're looking for. We're looking for class A, B, or C. We're open to any of them because we have different partners or sponsors that will back us depending on what kind of deal it is. The other thing is for us is like we want to make sure there is value add, meaning like we want to come in and be able to make $1 million. So if we can't raise the rents, we can't charge back some things to the tenants, we can't come and maybe give it a little lipstick job to make some more money. If it's already performing at its highest potential, well, then there's no room for us to make any money. And then we also don't want to buy properties that are vacant. We don't want to buy a vacant property. And we also don't want to buy properties that are being built, because Joseph and Carlos say it best is like, you want to buy a property that is already stabilized, because starting from the ground zero or like vacant is like starting a business from scratch. You're having to start over and build a business from scratch. He said, why not get ahead of a game? Why not buy a business that's already running and making money? So why like, I mean, you can choose, right? But like for us, I want to skip all of that. I don't want to start a business from scratch and deal with that headache. I'd rather come in, fix things up, raise the rents, and make $1 million. So that's what our asking buy box is. That's what our goals are. So when you have an idea of what you want, then you come in with these brokers like, this is what we have. This is what we're doing. This is about us. And I think Oscar does it best too. And so does Carolyn. It's like, before they ask you questions, you should have those questions answered. They should not have any questions to ask you. You shouldn't leave them wondering, who is this person? Like, what is their credibility? Can they even perform? Are they a wholesaler? Like, they should be like, damn, I want to send a deal to this person the second we get off the phone. Like, I need them in my phone book, you know? So just coming into the conversation with confidence, like, this is what we're doing. This is our goal. Like, our mentor's goal is $1 billion in the next year. Not that I pulled a Joseph. I pulled a Joseph. Joseph told a broker that one time. It's $1 billion in the next 7 years. But
yeah, they were on it though. They were ready. The conversation ends after that.
He did do that. Like we've all
They just sold you the brokerage.
We've all done that, where we've said things we shouldn't when talking to brokers, and it's fine, because think of it this way: if you mess up, have somebody else call them, or chances are you could call them in a week and they'll forget who you are. Just change up the way you said things. Like, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Just go out there and like figure out what your spill is and what you're comfortable saying, and like they're gonna hit you with questions, and you're gonna be like, and then you kind of just gotta get quick on your feet. Like, they're gonna ask, what was the question you got asked, Carolyn? Like, how is your
debt structured?
Carolyn's like, deer in the headlight.
How is my debt structured? I just kind of like asked it back, and they're like, well, are you syndicating, or are you this? Do you have private money? You know, all this stuff. And so that was a very surface level way of asking. Oscar, you know the better terminology for all this, but like, they want to know where our money's coming from, and like, do you have the money raised, or do you need to go get the money, and like, what does that look like? And there's some other things entailed with that. But.
So can I ask this question real quick? How would today, if you got question answered again, how would
You're gonna ask me at 9:30 at night.
Are we
You got
doing
this.
Q&A?
We need to get back some value.
So, oh man, I'm like literally trying to remember what.
It's a hard question.
How is your jet structured?
Oscar got this question down so good. I need to write it down word for word from him.
What did she say?
I did? I don't remember.
She was like, it doesn't matter like whether or not like doesn't matter where our capital is coming from, basically.
We're well funded in-house.
Yeah, we're well funded. Like we don't need to worry about that. But why was she saying that?
Because it doesn't matter. What does he care? Why would the broker?
But why does he care?
Yeah,
Because he wants to know if we have the money.
more or less, they were just trying to vet Carolyn, in my opinion. I think they were just trying to vet you to see if you knew exactly what you were doing. Because remember, I don't know if you remember Carolyn and KJ. I had a random broker call who started trying to grill me on the phone. I don't know if you guys remember that. He was asking me, a bunch of questions like, "Are you a syndicator? Are you like, are you a buyer? Are you having like partners come in this deal with you? Are you guys going to raise capital?" He started asking me all these questions that, I was prepared for them, but he was asking me at a higher level. And it's kind of similar to the conversation you had, Carolyn, with that one person who called you. He's like, "How are you structured? How's your deal? How's your debt structured?" It was kind of like that, right? Kind of caught me off guard, but it's really not that hard to answer those questions because you can just tell them, it just depends on the deal, right? If it makes sense for us to raise capital and do a syndication, we will. But if it's a smaller type of deal and we can just JV with a partner, then we will do that too. Or if we have if it's like a bigger, massive deal, then we'll definitely do it a different way. It just depends on the deal, right? It's kind of like that's such a vague question to ask. If it's a deal, how is your deal debt structured? I'm like, okay, well, it depends on the deal. How much are we supposed to raise? What are we supposed to do? What's our exit? All that depends. But yeah, I think other than that, that's a higher level conversation. Going back to the original question, how does this initial conversation with brokers go?
Noob is like, never mind.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is a whole next level conversation.
Bo, if you go to our Facebook group and you look in the pinned posts and our multifamily resources, there's going to be in the Google Drive, there's going to be a multifamily broker outreach script of just a general guideline of what we say, what we're asking for on the calls in the follow-up email format. So feel free to use that and like adjust it to your liking of what you want to say and what you want to ask for.
What if Bo gets stuck? What does he do?
He hangs up.
No,
No, don't hang up.
Here, I can answer that. I was gonna add to everything that you guys have said. All fantastic answers. But if you ever get to a point that you get stuck, right, or they ask you something and you don't know how to answer it, straight up ask them, "Hey, what do you mean?" Get an answer from them, what they're talking about. And even if that relationship is now tarnished or whatever in your eyes, now you know how to answer that question the next time, and you can do it for the next broker. And you've made that step, you took that action, and now you know, and you're not going to forget it because you're a little embarrassed for not knowing it, and it's going to be burned in your memory, and you're only going to know it that much better. So, and if you still don't know the answer, then come ask one of us, and we could probably give you the answer afterwards. But don't be afraid to ask them what they're talking about. Ask them what they mean, because they're going to, by asking them all these questions, you're going to get educated from them too.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be afraid to ask questions. That's all I'm saying.
No. And one last thing is like, if you relate it to talking to a single family seller of like, they create an objection and they ask you and you don't know, like put it on your team. Like, I'm not typically the person, I just was assigned to call, do outreach today and let me get back to my team and I can have an answer for you type of thing, and just kind of put it on somebody else, put it on us, whatever, like, and then go ask and find out.
Love it.
What is a typical hold for those MPFs you acquire? Is it a hold forever? Would you target a sell time in a few years?
So I don't know what MPF is. You guys know what that is?
I think he meant multifamily properties.
Okay. That's what I thought we were talking about
I
here.
was like, mobile park? Anyway,
No.
no, I'm kidding.
So
Hold
I would say
forever or
typically
hard to
like
sell?
5 years. So like for example, the deal that we are going to be locking up here soon is we're planning to refinance in 2 years after we've done the renovations, refinance out of the bridge loan in 2 years, and then sell at year 5. And it's whatever works, whatever makes sense on your underwriting. You can hold it forever if you want to. Like if it's an A-class property, we probably would not sell it. We would just hang on to it and let it keep appreciating. It's deal dependent. Pretty much everything in multifamily is deal dependent. You just underwrite it in a way that makes sense for that specific deal, and you want to make sure that you're going to be most profitable. The best way that you can execute that deal, that's how you should do it. Whatever makes the most sense.
Awesome. And then this next one, I think we just covered that. I feel like I did. Find somebody who's doing it and use their buy box. That's what we did.
Go get someone that will either sponsor you or help you with the deals, and then use their buy box because
It's
they're
just
going to
like-
be the ones looking at it.
It's just like wholesaling and finding a buyer. You go find what they want.
Perfect.
Love you guys, all of you who are supporting us. We love y'all.
Thank you.
Oh, someone said they're a broker agent. That's a good connect.
My boy Zach. What's up, Zach? He's in DFW.
Oh, nice.
Love it.
Love listening to you guys.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you.
Wish we could see who everyone is.
Is it Zach who?
Zach McQueen.
Mm.
Zach McQueen, okay.
Love it.
Definitely a rock star agent and broker in Dallas. I mean, his story is amazing. Maybe we'll get him on here one day, but he did like 7.4 million in sales and in single family in a year. So freaking amazing rock star agent.
Nuts.
Zach.
Let's see. When there is a large portfolio, there is a combination of several smaller buildings. Who would you start to underwriting?
I assume she means where. So what I would first ask, well, first you want to know, are these properties all in the same spot, right? If they're not on the same spot, then you probably don't want to buy it as a portfolio. You want to try and look at it individually. So that would be my second question. Even if they are on the same spot, can we buy them individually? And if not, does every single deal make sense? Does every single property make sense alone? And if it does, and the only way they're going to sell it is together, well, then that might make sense. But usually when it's a larger deal like that or a larger portfolio, I mean, usually one of them is like not so great, or maybe two. They're trying to like hide it in between the two good ones. So that's just something to look out for. It's not always, but a very common thing that I've seen. So ask if you could buy them individually.
Love it. Good job, Joseph. Love that answer, bro.
Is this a Myron question?
And this is a Myron question.
This is my own question.
This person asked, I have a list that I spent $30 on. I don't want to waste it. With these off-market direct-to-seller, how do y'all pull out the financials, especially the T12s? So you spent $30 and you're calling the sellers directly. And so I'd wonder a couple of things like how big are the complexes, how many units? So if you're dealing with smaller unit count, you might not get all those things that you want. If you're not getting the T12, try to get a P&L and a rent roll. You can put something, you can kind of glue together an offer on something like that. Some people just don't have a T12, man. They just don't do it. And I think I'm going to speak for myself, I guess, but like what we're finding is sometimes you can find a good deal if people aren't keeping their books straight. because you can go back around and whatever, charge pet rent that they're not charging, do the utilities back, whatever. You can do a lot of things that they're not taking care of. You can take care of things because if they're not taking care of their books, they sure aren't taking care of the property.
Yeah, Myron, what do we always say? Trust.
Oh yes. So trust but verify. Verify. So they're going to send you those documents, and even it was the craziest thing. Oscar and I did underwriting on one. It's like one of the very first ones, and all of their formulas were wrong. Like we went and added up all. I'll do it this way. Added up all the rows, and sorry about that. And the formulas were off on their spreadsheet. I'm like, I would not have thought that because my formulas are never off. So why would theirs be, right? So that's even the next thing is like, even when you're getting those T12s, look at how they're doing the calculations. Where are they putting the debt? Where are they putting CapEx? All those things. So don't waste your $30, man. Start talking to them.
Definitely.
When being in charge of asset management, what is a quick system on doing that part of the business?
So we're still learning asset management, Micah. We don't have it all figured out yet, but stay tuned because we are learning more and more. So we'll touch up probably in the near future all about asset management, and it'll probably be in a Zoom where it's a little bit more, I guess you can say private or not even that. That's not even a good word, but where I could say more tight knit group where we can teach more and deep dive into asset management.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Maybe we'll evolve and potentially do like a rotation of underwriting, like core underwriting, and then once a month we have a specific different topic.
Yeah, or you can type it in the chat, guys. Like if there's something you want us to do or touch up on in the Zoom, just type it in the chat and we'll see we can make it happen for you guys.
Thank you, Mina. Yes.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yo, I love it.
Love it. So no, not all of us are in DFW. Myron and Carolyn, myself, and my girlfriend Ione are in DFW. Guys, put some fires in the chat so we can get these two at the top to move to DFW too, because it's going to happen. I've been trying to convince them. I think it's going to happen, guys. Put some fires in the chat.
They're working on it. They're working on it.
Every day he's planting seeds.
Put some cowboy hats in the chat.
What's up, Zach? And by the way, Zach did 7.4 million in 6 months, not 1 year.
Oh, corrected.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
I think that's Zach that made that comment. Thank you. And everybody who's putting fires, thank you. I think we covered all the questions so far. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Last call.
Last call on the questions. Trying to think of something we need to touch up on.
I was like, oh, someone commented it was Myron. Look.
Look at those smiling faces.
Can't be sad with a cowboy hat on.
Nope. Love it.
There we go. Got another one.
That's
Sweet.
funny.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Well, next time we go live will be Friday morning at 10 a.m. Central. That's when we go over, that's our weekly recap when we touch on the good, bad, and ugly of everything we're doing during the week. So we'll talk about our wins. We'll talk about the obstacles, the things we've learned, the struggles we've had. We really are doing this. We're teaching you guys as we learn. So everything that we learn, as soon as we learn it, we come on and share what we've learned. And we're not experts. We're new, and we're learning as we go. And so we figured what better way to help other people than sharing what we've learned along the way. So, oh, look, we got a question.
Got one last question.
Our
for
last
the
question of the night. Ooh. Is this a
Alex
Myron question?
says, very new to seller finance. What are some things that can go wrong with seller finance? I heard they can take the house back when they want to, We'll let the seller finance man answer this one.
When you sell or finance something, you close at a title or with a title or an attorney. I would probably say, talk to me. This is a long conversation. So like send me a message or something, but they can't just take your house back. I mean, if you're not paying, yeah. Stop paying and see who's going to take your house back, right? The lender is always protected, whether it's a mortgage seller, whoever it is. So things that can go wrong. I don't know anything that can go wrong other than you have the ability to pay. You can overpay and get into a house that you weren't qualified to get into. I mean, to a degree. So the bank won't qualify you because you own a lawn care business. And now you can get into the house that you want, that you can pay for. Really, I think a lot of this creative stuff gets scary because it's new, and things that are new are scary. So
it's non-conventional. Yeah.
On the other hand, maybe you're thinking of subject to, where in multifamily loans are assumable. Some by design, you can assume loans. Single family world, like a bank mortgage, it's a due on sale. So if you sell the house, they want their money because they haven't qualified that new buyer. So that's maybe what you're talking about. But with seller finance, that's not a thing. Seller finance is as old as just a regular sale. So did I explain?
Yes. The
Cool.
short answer is make sure you do your paperwork right.
Paperwork. Thanks.
Paperwork.
Thanks, Joseph.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just making sure.
Just send him a DM if you
Yeah,
have
he's the guy to talk to. Definitely just hit him up.
So guys, please give us a follow on Instagram. Those are our handles. If you aren't already, we post updates on there. We share what we're doing. If you're not in the Facebook group already, the Multifamily, the $1 Million Upside, please join that group. And if you aren't in the group chat I created, let me know as well, and I can add you there because I also post updates there. I try my best to get the word out the best I can. So whatever ways I can send out notifications, I will. But I think the group that we're creating will be really great for us to network, help each other, and grow and learn together. So if y'all have questions or need anything, feel free to ask in there. Join during our office hours or just, holler at us. And I hope you guys enjoyed this live Q&A we did. If this is a good time for you guys, let us know. We're trying to figure out what days work best for everybody to be doing lives. Friday mornings seem to do really well with our underwriting Zoom and then our weekly recap. So, and tonight turned out really well too. So I'm really excited and I appreciate all of you guys. And definitely let us know if you enjoyed it tonight. Oh,
Y'all are playing comment tag. Oscar, Joseph, Carolina, and KJ Mudd, I appreciate all what you're doing for us. I hope blessings come your way. You have amped me up with enough motivation to make my next move. Yay.
That is
you too, Byron.
That was Byron.
Byron.
We love you all. You guys are what keeps us going. Otherwise, we would just be sitting here having another team meeting.
Yes. Thank you so much. The words mean so much in the comments. Like it really motivates us because this business is definitely you got to have people. You can't do it alone. And if you're ever feeling stuck and need a word of encouragement, I'm a preacher on the side sometimes. Not really good at.
You might need to time block about an hour though.
I love to preach.
KJ's preaching hours.
Yeah, that should be the next thing we add in.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, thank you so much guys for all the love and support. And I don't want to say goodbye now, but yeah, I know.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm hungry. Goodbye, guys. We love y'all. Appreciate you all.
Bye,
Thanks for coming. See you again soon.
Thank you.